Something we learned from a very early age in Western civilization is that answers are much more important than questions. So we get told this at school, and we start to have that drummed into us, and it continues into the world of work. And we spend very little time really looking at the questions that we're posing. And another sort of cultural characteristic is that telling is seen as really important, much more important than asking and listening. And if you are a traditional consultant, you really love telling people stuff. And in fact, that's how you get paid, or it's how you think you get paid. It's how you assume a position of power with the client. And I've had some pretty bad experiences in my career in that role as somebody who's just telling with not really much attention to the question that was posed, or trying to really listen to what's going on. And that's why these days I'm calling myself a curiosity-led consultant. The part of the reason I started Needs Workshop is because I'm kind of obsessed with questions. I've become really deeply fascinated by the way they work, the way that you can design them. And I'm interested in how they enable us, but they also constrain. So with a question, you throw light onto something that you want to explore, but you also cast a shadow. So where you point that is really important. And that's why I think it's so important to spend more time with them. There's a couple of practices I use in my work as a curiosity-led consultant. The first is like a tree diagram. So I call it the question map. And I build this with a client as I'm moving forward with them. And the idea is to expose, in a very transparent way, the thinking that's leading us forward. So we start with the original questions that were posed, and then we go forward in a way that makes sure that we're spending the most amount of time on the questions that are really going to make the most difference. So what's going to have the most impact? What is going to make the biggest amount of difference here? The next practice that I use very heavily is collective intelligence processes like liberating structures. And the simplest way of putting that is my main task in many cases is to bring together people to have conversations that they aren't used to having with people that they aren't used to having them with. And it's incredible, it's amazing what can happen when you make that happen, what the things that you can reveal and the accomplishments that can come out of it. My interest in combining this fascination with questions and this curiosity-led approach and taking that into group participatory experiences is to reveal something called the adjacent possible. So because it's a complex situation, you can't just plan your way through, but there is this sort of alternate reality just hovering on the edge of where we are now. And if you have the right design of question in that group of people, you can reveal what is possible. What is possible in this exact situation with this particular combination of people at this particular moment in time.